What it do, Imp Knights? In today's video, I am going to be having a discussion with you guys about Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 6. It is a review on the episode, so I want you guys to bear with me as I discuss this with you guys. And you guys can actually post a comment below and let me know what you guys think about the Black Lightning Season 1 Episode 6. Give me your thoughts. I actually do want to hear you guys' thoughts. Also, hit the like button and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button. It will notify you when I upload a video, just in case you are not getting a notification. Okay, so what I want to discuss on how this episode starts is that Black Lightning actually gets saved by Gambi, because if you remember from the last episode, he was putting his electrical hands on Joey Toledo, and then he ends up, getting that brain, whatever is going on with his brain, and ends up immobilizing him a little bit, and the cops are after him. So you see the cops, Henderson and all them talking about let's arrest Black Lightning. So that's where Gambi comes in. And then after Gambi saves Jefferson, after he saves Jefferson, Joey Toledo escapes. And when Joey Toledo escapes, I want to just say Tobias was not happy with Joey Toledo for not killing Black Lightning. He ends up hemming him up, choking him out, and pretty much talk smack about him, saying that the white boys are getting just as lazy as the street thugs or the street black people. He said they're starting to get just as lazy and not having no type of professionalism. And I thought that was interesting that he was comparing both of them, because he felt like maybe, I guess, the white people or the white criminals are a little more professional. I mean, I don't know how he was like thinking about it, but it was more of a jab at Joey Toledo than anything else. And we also see, but we're gonna switch over and talk about how they are making Lynn, as of right now, dislikable. She seems very dislikable, but you understand that her heart is just in the right place, because she wants the best for Jefferson, and they have 2 kids. She don't want this man that she loves to be found dead in the streets because some street criminal or some thug or whoever found a way to kill Black Lightning. But she says some harsh stuff to Jefferson, talk about she don't care that his father's dead and that he's been dead for years, and get over it. It's like, wow, like, how you gonna tell this man to get over his father's death? You don't get over a loved one's death. Like, you just don't do it. It's like, you can work through it, you'll push on in life, but it's always going to be there. And Jefferson was excited to talk to her about it, and she was just like, I need a fresh air, because of the simple fact is I can't do this too much. I'm always patching you up. And she hates patching him up because he always coming back bruised, battered, whatever. But still, come on, Lynn. You can't be talking to that man like that. Like, that's just grounds to stay apart. But like I said, I do understand. Then we get to Anissa, who feels that the statue is a disrespect to African American people, and how he was the statue had one of the biggest traitors. The thing is that she took some water guns. Her and a group of protesters took some water guns, and they ended up spraying the statue. And everybody was cheering them on and all that. But the issue is, she ends up getting herself arrested. And that's the one thing you don't want, is that she ends up getting herself arrested. And the interesting thing is what Jefferson says after he gets her out of jail. So after he gets her out of jail, one of the interesting things that he said is that and it's actually true, is that all it takes is for one cop to not see your humanity but see your skin color, and then shoot first, ask questions later, because that does happen in real life. Some cops are trigger happy, and as an African American, you don't have luxuries that some other cultures may have, and it's cool to see that they put that in there. But I will get on a topic like that for another day. But it's cool to see that they put that in there, and it's also cool that she was just like, I've heard you say this like 1,000 times, and he just like, well, I'll stop saying it if you start listening. I thought that was like a cool aspect to the dynamic that they had, as far as him going to jail, and a little jab that Jennifer took at her big sister about, man, you stay getting arrested. But Anissa is just a passionate person, and she's passionate about what she's doing, and that's all that as a fan we can ask for. We want to see that passion. Then we switch over to Lynn, who's in her work office, and while she's in her work office, we learn that the people who are taking green light have the same scans as Jefferson, brain scans as Jefferson, with the little red anomaly that's been going on. So it seems like green light has the connection, whatever green light is or whatever, it has the connection to Jefferson. So Jefferson must have some form of super green light or something to make him more stable than the other green light babies. That's what appears. And she tells her assistant to get her some coffee, but obviously the assistant seems to be a little shady because he was on the phone with someone, so he saw what she was doing, but he seemed to be quite shady in his actions. Then we see Jennifer. Jennifer at this point is just like any other teenager. She wants to go to prom. She wants to have kids. She just wants to live that normal life. And the issue is her boyfriend from the last episode got shot, and he's permanently paralyzed. And because of that, she feels like, okay, now I gotta be at his side, taking care of him on a wheelchair instead of out on that dance floor. And she's telling Anissa this, like, and she feels really bad for having to say all these things about Khalil, but she just want to get this off her chest because she doesn't know how to handle the fact that this is a guy that she cares for, but now he can't walk and he has to be taken care of. So that's like an interesting thing. We also learned that it was Black Lightning's suit that was harming him and causing all those blackouts and all of those things. And the reasoning why was because his body and his electrical brain takes in more electricity than the average person. It pretty much takes in something like, I want to say how you charge up your Xbox or something. I mean, Xbox controller. It takes a lot of energy, and because of that is why Jefferson was getting that negative feedback from his body, because it was set to a point. His suit was set to a point because his suit keeps his body from burning out, and it was set too high, and it was getting feedback from that. So that was an interesting thing that keeps him from killing himself. The suit keeps his energy stable from killing himself or burning himself out, which I think is a pretty neat thing they did with his abilities. Because for those who don't know, Black Lightning powers originally was from a belt. Originally, when he was first created, he had a belt that gave him his powers before he became a full-blown metahuman. So that's, like I said, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But when we learn that, we also learn that Jefferson is still hell bent on revenge. And he's like, okay, now that he understands, let's go kill Tobias. And Gambi's like, nah, dog, you can't just go out and coldly kill Tobias like that. Which is why he ends up going to Lynn to ask Lynn to help him talk Jefferson out of killing Tobias, because Black Lightning ends up meeting this dude, and then he gives him a phone, and the guy calls Lightning, and Black Lightning, to tell Black Lightning what time to be there to take out Tobias and all that. And because of that situation, Black Lightning ends up going over there. He ends up going to take out this guy. Take out Tobias and Joey Toledo, but Lynn ends up talking him down to not commit cold-blooded murder because he's a father, he's a principal, he's a hero, and the purpose of Black Lightning is to bring justice to a city that doesn't have justice, or a neighborhood that doesn't have justice or feel like they don't have anything. He's supposed to be that symbol or that hope to them. And committing that cold-blooded murder will sully the name of Black Lightning to be strictly a killer and a part of Jefferson that we all are accustomed to seeing. And then during this time, after she was talking, she ends up getting attacked by some thugs that, like I said earlier, the assistant must have called in and hired to take her out because she knows too much about green light. So as they try to take her out, and we're going to get more on that part, because I forgot a part is that Anissa destroys the statue using her powers, and when she destroys the statue, she almost hurt the citizen, and she realizes that the way she's using her powers is not right, and she decided she needed to tell somebody, because for a while she was keeping this as a big time secret. And because of that, that's where we bring back to the fact that when she gets there, her mother is tied up, and the guys try to stop Anissa but can't. But during the commotion, after Lynn had talked down, Jefferson, he hears all this, and he flies towards her, and the guy who called Tobias and Joey Toledo, he ends up getting beaten. Get beat to a bloody pulp, and ends up getting beaten by Joey Toledo. And we see Gambi talks to, I forgot her name. Wow, I drew a blank on her name, but Jill Scott's character, and he's trying to, Gambi does a lot of shady stuff. He does a lot of it in the first place, and he ends up taking a gun, and they was just, she pretty much told him, we got to put Tobias in line. So that's what they planned on doing. But the biggest thing in this scene, to me, like the biggest thing about the Black Lightning, was that Anissa fights her father, and even though she held her own for a little bit, she got throttled, and she ended up getting burns, and she ends up getting knocked upside her head. So I would say that was a cool or interesting thing that they did. And that's how, at the end of the day, you learn, the Pierce family learns that, their kid, at least one of their kids have powers, and pretty much was born a metahuman that finally eventually developed and that ends up leading us to the end of the episode, where she learns that her father is Black Lightning. Dun, dun, dun. But if you guys made it to the end of this video, I do appreciate and thank you for listening to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next review.